Hello everyone, Palumbo here, doing another video in the case of Madeleine McCann. Before we start the video, you're innocent until proven guilty. As you may probably be aware of, the Metropolitan Police in the UK have received another £360,000 worth of funding, taking the total up to nearly £14 million now in the investigation of Madeleine McCann. That's £14 million of taxpayers' money, folks. Yours and mine. Other missing children do not receive anything like this, folks. The video I am doing today, as I've shown you numerous times with regards to this case, the McCanns already know who the so-called abductor is that took their daughter, because they've told us numerous times in videos that the abductor who took their daughter was the person that was seen by Jane Tanner. Now, they are not my words. They're not your words. They're not the Metropolitan Police's words, or the German or the Portuguese police. They are the words of Kate and Jerry McCann. Now, I'm fed up showing you it, but I'm going to show you it again. And take it in what Jerry and Kate are telling you. They are telling you that Madeleine's abductor, bearing in mind that the Metropolitan Police have just received another £360,000 worth of taxpayers' money to investigate this case, they are telling you that Madeleine's abductor was the person seen by Jane Tanner.
On the children every 15 minutes. So do you still maintain that this is the person that you believe has abducted Madeleine? Do you still believe that this is the man?
We have never said that that is the man who abducted Madeleine. We said that it's someone who multiple witnesses had a description similar to this man.
We believe this is the man.
The man that Jane Tanner saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is a man who has obviously been flagged up by certain people acting strangely, and he's not that dissimilar to this man, but we don't know. Basically, we almost wanted to eliminate him.
And how do you think that you could have opportunity to get into the apartment if you were checking on the children every 15 minutes?
How often did you say we were checking?
15 minutes? No?
That's not what we've said. You know,
No?
and it's been widely reported that it was about 30 minutes. Now, that was what our checks were. Clearly, different people were going at different times, and there was a small window of opportunity. There's no doubt about it. It was a small window. I believe it's a high-risk strategy, and that person almost got caught.
By who?
By Jane.
But do you fear to go back? Do you fear the Portuguese justice and the people?
So you see, they are not my words. The person who's supposed to have took Madeleine, Kate and Jerry's daughter, the parents are telling you, as I've just shown you, said that the person who abducted Madeleine was the person seen by Jane Tanner. Like I say, they're not my words, folks. So you have a prime suspect now with regards to this case, and his name is Christian Bruckner. So you have to ask yourself, why are the Metropolitan Police receiving £360,000 worth of taxpayers' money and 14 million in total when the McCanns are telling you that Jane's sighting was the abductor, folks? This would mean that the German police, who believe Christian Bruckner is the prime suspect, this should fit in with Jane's sighting, folks, shouldn't it? Because the McCanns are telling you that he was the abductor. So if the German police are telling you that the prime suspect was Christian Bruckner, and the McCanns are telling you that the abductor almost got caught by their friend Jane Tanner, then unless there were numerous people involved, then that person seen by Jane, it stands to reason, should be Christian Bruckner, folks, shouldn't it? Now, you've got to ask yourself, have any of these authorities, i.e. the German police, the British police, the Portuguese, have they ever asked Jerry and Kate McCann, how do you come to the conclusion that Jane's sighting was the person that took your daughter? And then the same authorities should ask them the question, well, we believe it's Christian Bruckner who took your daughter. So how does that fit in with the person seen by Jane Tanner? And the same thing should happen with Jane Tanner. Those authorities, if this was a credible case of someone being investigated in an abduction disappearance, folks, then who would you ask? If the McCanns are telling you that the abductor that took their child almost got caught by Jane Tanner, then instead of doing investigations, who would you ask? You would ask Jane Tanner. Was Christian Bruckner the person that you seen carrying that child who you seen? Then you wouldn't need investigations, would you, folks? Because I am showing you that McCanns have said that Madeleine's abductor was the person seen by Jane. So that person is the abductor. The German police tell us Christian Bruckner is the prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. So you put the two and two together. It doesn't take a genius to work out that if the McCanns are telling you that the person seen by Jane was the abductor, then the person seen by Jane should be Christian Bruckner, shouldn't it, folks? And who do you ask? Jane Tanner. Was Christian Bruckner the person that you seen crossing that road, Jane? It shouldn't take another extra £360,000 for the Metropolitan Police to investigate that, folks. Should it? Especially when Jane said in her first statement that she would be able to recognise the person she seen crossing that road. Take that in. Jane Tanner tells in her first statement that she would be able to recognise the person that she's seen walking across that road from side on and in the manner of when they were walking, folks. That person Jane Tanner's seen If the German police are saying Christian Bruckner is the prime suspect in her disappearance, should be Christian Bruckner, shouldn't it? So the British police should not need £360,000 and £14 million in total to investigate that, should they, folks? That's how you know that this case is a scam. That £360,000, together with the £14 million of taxpayers' money that the British people have given, is being used to investigate no one. Because I am showing you, folks, that the McCanns already know, supposedly, who took their daughter. And it was the person seen by Jane. And I have just shown you that. Jane Tanner said she would be able to recognise that person. So you put two and two together, and then you have the German authorities, the British authorities, the Portuguese authorities, and you question all three of them, especially Jane Tanner. Is this the person, Christian Bruckner, that you seen crossing that top road? And if Jane says no, then you have to ask yourselves, well, how does that fit in with the German police saying Madeleine's abductor was Christian Bruckner, when the McCanns tell you that Jane's sighting was the abductor? This case is corrupt, folks. And the reason why they get away with it is because people don't give a damn. Because it doesn't affect their lives. Now, there are thousands of cases of abducted children who receive nothing, folks. Their cases don't even get investigated. That's why I get peed off. Because I can see it a mile off. And I can see it a mile off because I'm interested in the case of Madeleine McCann. But the general public, they're just fed the story by the media, and they take it as read that Madeleine was abducted. They take it as read that the case deserves another £360,000 spent on it. And because they don't question anything, then the authorities get away with it. Makes you think.